They can see and hear you. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Known Realms Tolesh. Before we dive into today's session, let's go ahead and introduce our players. Obviously, we're down one David. Mr. Whistle is not at the table with us, but we will see him next week when he returns, and we miss him dearly. Mwah, 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 mwah. If you want to check out David in other places, go ahead and check out Stealthy Elf Productions, where he GMs two incredible campaigns over there: Heroes of Hysteria, Sansi Saga, and Unearthed Inheritance. Angie.
Hi, everybody. I'm Angie, Agonethetic on the internet. Alec is laughing at me. I guess I'm just kind of a funny, silly, goofy all the time. It's okay. You can laugh. Please do. If you laugh, then that way I know that I might be doing something correct. Who knows? Where am I going with this? I don't know.
I have no idea.
They, them pronouns. I play Zia Marino, he, they pronouns. And yeah. The boar worms. Sorry.
Thank you so much. Lou.
Excuse me, why are we barking? Sorry, then felt like participating. Hello, I'm Lou. I play Lazuli. We're fixing that in post, right? I play Lazuli. We both use she, her pronouns. And you can find me at Luzilia_art on most social media.
Perfect. Thank you. And last but hi, Finn. Last but not least,
Finn, he, him pronouns.
Finn, he, him pronouns. Hello, I'm Button, they, them pronouns. I'm Bluebluebutton on social media. And when I'm not here playing Echinacea Belrose, you can find me over on Stealthy Elf Productions in the Unearthed Inheritance campaign, where I play Cressida.
Cressida. Hi, everybody. My name is Alec. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me all places on the internet at Tales Archived. I'm the Archivist here for Known Realms Tolesh. When I'm not here, you can find me as Finn Reese over at Heroes of Hysteria, Unearthed Inheritance, at Stealthy Elf Productions. Again, since these recently changed, I want to give a content warning at the beginning of today's show. We could be covering heavy topics that may not be suitable for all audiences, and that could be potentially triggering to folks. We could be covering topics such as self-harm and ideation. You will be given verbal and written content warnings in chat when the topics may be broached, and I want to assure that we have all talked above table to ensure that everybody in the cast and crew here are safe and comfortable exploring these themes, and everybody is given enthusiastic consent. Thank you, and yeah, let's go ahead and dive back in. Thank you, Future Alec, for the recap. You guys find yourself waking up in the humble abode, and I have a question for each and every one of you. How did you sleep last night?
Zio slept better than it's been for a while. I think everyone was in the treehouse, sleeping around, and I would even say that they're the first one to wake up.
Okay. So Zio had a fairly pleasant night's sleep, finally being back with the group, and is the first to rise in the morning. All right. Lazuli, Echinacea?
Juxtaposed to Zio, Echinacea started off their night the same as they had for the past week, with the same recurring and evolving and revolving nightmares about the Magus Arcanum being taken, kidnapped by them once again, locked away for crimes they haven't committed. These images of Casimir's tower, of the anti-magic cell, of the Magus Arcanum agents in their official blue uniforms, doling out violence or the threat of it in this casual way. But then it changes. It shifts. These dreams of haunted Echinacea, and they recognize it as a haunting, as tonight there is this shimmering sliver of blue divinity that boom, boom, beats against their chest like a second heart beat. And within the dreamscape, this manifests as a soft glow in the center of their chest, so that when Echinacea and Aedwulf find themselves once again in the anti-magic cell, Echinacea considers the blue glow that appears and disappears to the beat of their own heart, but it is not their heart. Aedwulf, I know the way out.
Aedwulf, already in their wolven form, as they have in countless dreams before, standing between Echinacea, Casimir, and Zarini, mane spiked up, ready to protect them, looks, and you see even on their wolfish face there is a smile that curls. I'm following your lead, partner.
Could it be you, partner?
You want me to lead?
Echinacea they bend down and take Aedwulf's paws, and I think as they stand, Aedwulf becomes their humanoid form. This shadow with the suggestion of features that were on Aedwulf when Aedwulf was alive. Tell you what, I'll light the way, and then you can lead.
Perfect. And you see as Aedwulf taps the lute that is on their back as it begins to play music, Echinacea, you begin to light the way, and you don't want... Oh, sorry.
I don't what?
It looked like you had something to say.
Yes. Aedwulf begins to play music, and that blue light that is beating like a heart bursts forth from Echinacea's chest like 1,000 blue sun rays in every direction, and there is a thunderclap. And the room is suddenly illuminated as the walls shatter outward, and debris flies in all directions before freezing in space, turning like little motes in the air, the broken masonry drifting across what is the vast blue of a cloudless night high atop this tower. And the stars above slowly descend and turn blue as they do so. These tiny blue flames in these twinkling rivulets form a path that is starry, like the celestial veil of the Phoenix of lore. And Echinacea looks at the celestial veil of the Phoenix Ios, and that beating heart, that blue light, is shared between Echinacea and Aedwulf. Well, that's the way, if you'd like to lead.
Perfect. Initiating with a twirl, Aedwulf leads Echinacea as the two dance up the celestial veil and out of the tower and out of the Arcanum's clutches to the waking world.
Echinacea wakes up with a smile on their face.
Perfect.
Just sees you already awake.
Zio has been awake the way that like kids are awake whenever they're in someone's like house, and everyone's in the room has been sleeping, and they've just been sitting up, just like waiting.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Are you the first awake?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how are you today?
I slept really well. I haven't been able to the last few nights.
I'm glad. I know the feeling.
And Lazuli, how did you sleep last night?
Lazuli didn't sleep too well. Not out of nightmares, but potentially just a mix of lying next to people who might be having nightmares, tossing and turning, and there is an itch in the back of her mind of questions that are still not answered, and different threads still don't seem to have tidy ends. And so, but she also knows she needs to rest. So it's one of those mornings where you try to sleep in because you know this is supposed to be comfortable, but you just keep tossing and turning and thoughts keep bubbling up. So she's a little fussy in the morning. She's hair is a little bit more askew, but not in a foul mood. But has notions that she needs to check on.
You wake up a little haggard. You see Echinacea and Zio. Is that not an accurate description?
I don't know, haggard. Like, uh-oh.
Oh, okay, that's funny. I get it.
I was
was
laughing at the dumb pun.
I didn't get the pun. I didn't even intentionally make a pun.
I heard it.
Perfect. First off, Button, I want to give you an inspiration point for that dream scene. Love that shit. Take that. But all three of you are awake. On the couch behind you, Casimir took the potion last night, but he is in a restful position. He's kind of laying back, and Kaelin begins to stir. Lucian begins to wake up. So the space is moving. But yeah, the scene is yours.
Lazuli gets up and joins Echinacea and Zio wherever they are. With a stretch. And an eyebrow.
Morning, sweet girl.
Good morning. What are our plans for the day?
Same thing we always do. Take care of everything.
Lazuli plops down in the chair. Okay. All right.
You don't have to. You don't have to do. You should do whatever you want to do.
No, you're right. Is Lucian present?
Yeah, you see.
Is Lucian in the room with us?
Yes, Lucian is in the room. I will say, you guys see is Kaelin wakes up, puts his hair up in a bun, and just kind of tugs Lucian by the ponytail very gently, not meanly. It's not. Kaelin's not a rude person. He's like, help me make coffee. Kaelin's really tired. Lucian's like, coffee, good idea, fucking phenomenal idea, let's do it. They kind of link arm in arm and start walking to the kitchen because Lucian's eyes are like half closed. Kaelin is like, nope, this way, this way, this way.
I love sleepy Lucian just like cursing, but also kind of endearing.
He's just like, oh,
fucking amazing.
Good morning, coffee sounds really good. And Lucian looks back, breakfast, anyone?
Certainly, if you're offering.
Oh, it's breakfast from the Lord of Iothalor. That's one hell of a breakfast.
Fancy.
Does Lucian actually know how to cook?
Are you asking that to the room?
Yeah.
Lucian?
I suppose that's one way to find out.
I mean, I happen to know that you're very capable of concocting other things, so really cooking doesn't seem like a stretch.
It's just another recipe to follow.
Well, a chef is not the same thing as a baker.
Right. It's not baking either.
Yeah.
Have a little faith.
Zia's just teasing.
I know.
Just
have a little faith in me. It's gonna be fine, most likely. He starts to take out cooking utensils and everything like that.
Zio looks at Lazuli and Echinacea and just,
Would it be alright if I excused myself?
Of course.
What's your plans for the day?
Oh, well, I'll be back shortly. I think. I don't know. It all depends. I just have to find Isandro and let him know that I told you guys about everything, so he doesn't have to keep my secret anymore.
Maybe. I hope it goes well.
Yeah, well, things haven't really been that great, so, yeah.
Echinacea holds their tongue.
Yeah.
Okay. So Zio, you're heading to Isandro.
Yeah, I think Zio's going to head into the Whitmore estate to try and find him.
Okay, absolutely. And then Lazuli, Echinacea, what's first on your docket? I just want to make sure I know what everybody's up to, and then we'll start diving into scenes.
Echinacea will go find Reeves. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
Okay. After food is eaten and coffee is had, Lazuli will linger in the kitchen and help clean up dishes with Lucien. And so, what are you going to do with your sister?
First off, Lucien cooked a bomb ass breakfast. It was eggs scrambled, of course, because he's a child at heart, with biscuits and gravy. This was like a big hearty breakfast.
Biscuits and gravy.
Oh my goodness. I need this recipe.
Oh, I will get it for you. It's actually in the Whitmore estate. I'll make sure you have it.
The gravy.
From scratch.
Wow.
Just another recipe. Okay. We'll stick. I like this question from Lazuli, so we'll stick with Lazuli. We'll jump to Zio, and then we'll check in with Echinacea and Reeves. Sound good, everybody? Downtime. So you're doing dishes. Kaylin heads out as well. Casimir is becoming a bit of a homebody, so Casimir is lingering. But you're washing the dishes, and you ask what Lucien is going to do with his sister. He just sort of... I'm going to keep my eye on her. She has no capacity for magic. Viola is gone. I have 2 ducal guard stationed on her at all times. I want to offer the same experience that I received. A chance to learn. I don't want to keep her imprisoned.
What I'm implying, if that's what you thought. More, I'm not sure just careful watch is something that will be beneficial. I don't know. She's powerful. Her spirit is. It's bruised now. But she could make another pact with someone, something. There's always going to be something that is going to be vying for power. And will know her potential, just like they saw in me, and reach out and try to harness it. I just hope that she can find a place where she can pour it into something that she loves. But I'm not ready to be kind to her either. In some ways. But I'm still concerned.
I appreciate the concern, and I think you're right. There will be plenty of entities that try to make their moves on Elizabeth, to try and entice her with power, and I don't know what she will do. I think I will have a conversation with Tifna. See if there are ways we can ward the home from any sort of outer influence.
I see.
But again, and I don't think you said it, but I don't want to imprison her. That will breed the same. That will ensure that she doesn't change.
I agree.
Yes, as of right now, it's step by step. And I'm just keeping my eye on her. I will be honest, I have not spoken to her. It has been difficult, to say the very least.
Can't imagine how the idea of confronting her might make you feel. But if you are the Lord of Iotlor, I do think it is necessary. And her brother. At your time.
That is fair advice.
I'm sure you have been thinking about it, but the city's needs have probably been coming first. And they do.
Thank you. I will look into it, and I will, once I feel able, have a conversation with her. But if you feel as if it's not easy to be nice to her, well, don't say anything at all.
I've said my piece.
Good.
Thank you for breakfast.
Of course, I hope it sets you all up for a successful day of saving the city.
City saved, it seems.
There's still work to be done.
Yes. And she gets them.
All right. He just nods, finishes the dishes, puts on his lordly attire, and begins sneaking his way back to the Whitmore estate. And as Lucian jumps from rooftop to rooftop, using the morning light, or the shadows cast by the morning light as an aid, makes his way back. And following to the Whitmore estate, we will follow Zio as you make your way up to the room that you and Asandra had shared.
Yeah, I think prior to going up to the room, though, is the Whitmore estate like bustling? Is there anything happening like in the morning as well?
There are still people, not today. There have been events where like Lucian has opened the Whitmore estate kitchens up to people in need of food. So it was opened up breakfast for people to come in. There are still people staying at the Whitmore estate. Some homes have been unfortunately decimated via the Ebonized occupation. So bustling isn't really the right word, but it is a home that is functioning.
Yeah. Is there anyone in the kitchen?
Yeah, absolutely. There are a
Any
couple.
food being prepared?
Yeah,
I think Zio would go and like maybe grab not breakfast for themselves, but they do want to grab like if there's any tea or coffee, and a couple of, what looks like a hearty meal, if there's something of the sort.
You're kind of looking at something a little bit elevated from like a hotel continental breakfast, like a nice hotel continental breakfast. Like, don't get me wrong, like they're not skimping out here, but you see a lot of muffins, you see a lot of like kind of hearty breakfast breads, you see a lot of fruit and some sort of like meat and hash. Absolutely, yeah.
I think Zio kind of just like piles a plate and then goes and finds Sandra's room.
Yeah, you walk up to the room and kind of just make your way in. Do you knock?
Zio knocks.
You're just one moment, just getting ready. Sort of after like 2 or 3 minutes, the door opens and
Mm-hmm.
you see Asandro kind of full gear and just, oh, good morning. Is everything all right?
Good morning.
Here, and then kind of just hands over the plate.
Oh, thank you. I suppose you could hear my stomach rumbling from whatever it is you bedded down last night.
I was in the humble abode.
Understood.
I wanted to tell you that you don't have to keep the secret anymore.
There is a sigh of relief. There's been a week of avoiding the people that Asandro has been traveling with in order to not, Asandro has kind of island himself off. He just, good. I'm glad they know. Do you feel lighter for telling them?
Yes, and yes and no. Yes, because I don't have to lie to them. No, because now they have to carry that with them. And we haven't really talked about it at length. What's going to happen?
Well,
But I wanted to tell you so that you didn't have to keep yourself away anymore.
thank you. I do appreciate it. I'm glad that you were able to tell your friends.
And like Zio has been throughout this conversation, they met Isandro's eyes in the moment that he opened the door. But from the moment that they handed the plate of food over, they haven't been able to meet his eyes. This sort of jittery, nervous energy, similar to the energy that Zio used to have when they first met.
Asandro?
Huh?
When they first met Asandro?
Yes, when
Yeah.
they first met Asandro.
Gotcha.
That sort of unsure, that it's an inexplicable emotions to Zio.
Well, if you are busy, I don't wish to keep you. I have plenty of work to do myself.
Yeah, of course. Maybe we can do some more training. Now that I'm not keeping this. Hopefully, I'm not as distracted or problem with the Amine.
If you feel like you will be a problem for the Amine, learning will not be productive. I need to know that you are in a state to do so if you're willing to learn. I am happy to teach you. You know this.
I want to learn. I'm willing to learn. Of course. I can't force myself to feel at peace.
I didn't ask you to. Because I certainly don't feel at peace. But there is a point where they come before me. If you are not occupied this evening, there's been some activity north of the city that could use some spirit caller attention. And it would be a good opportunity for you to become familiar with Greater Armene.
I'll meet you there.
Wonderful. And are you still not meeting Assandra's eye?
I think the moment that he said that he hasn't been at peace, I think there was that brief meeting, but then there was something about the way that he said that that kind of jolted them back. So it was very brief, and then once again, this sort of meekness.
Okay. You can meet me at the northern gate after dinner time. I will be there then.
Okay.
You did say keep it professional, correct?
Yes. Of course. Yep. Professional. Yes.
Best of luck. And Isandra will shut the door and allow you to move first, and then move behind you out of the Whitmore estate. All right.
I think Zio is just going to, at this point, what is the highest peak in Iothalor? Is it the Whitmore estate?
It is Selene Spire, actually. That is where
Spire. And
that
the
is
lore?
like in the city proper. It is the highest point. Obviously, like the Whitmore estate itself is up on that hill, so it is the highest point of the city. But within the city itself, the Selene Spire would be it, and that's like right on the edge of the upper block. You'd be able to see like the hospital that's come up, the herbarium.
I know. Does Selene Spire, but does the top of the spire meet around the same height as the Whitmore estate, or is it goes higher than?
I'd say it's a
Whitmore
little
estate?
less than the Whitmore estate.
Little less. Okay. I think Zio is going to stay at the Whitmore estate. They want to just get high up. I think they're just going to scramble.
Okay.
They're gonna like rush. I think rather than have Isandra wait for him to leave, Zio will take a step back against the wall of this hallway and then allow him to leave first before they just dart in the other direction with towards where I'm assuming there might be a window. And Zio is going to burst the window open and climb out, and not using their boots of flight. No, they are fingers and toes stuck against the crags of this building as they start climbing.
Give me an acrobatics check.
Let's fucking see.
And you cast Fireball on yourself.
And I cast Fireball on myself.
Yeah, we're good. Okay, it was nat 17
It's a
with a
home
9.
run for you, dude. You're fine.
Yeah.
I think just with that anxious energy and that adrenaline that's
26.
kind of pumping, you're able to kind of just grip the side paneling and just very quickly make your way up to the highest point. You sit next to the bell on top of the Whitmore estate and just sort of perch there as you see walking out the front door Sandro as he moves deeper into the city. All right. And there we'll move over to Echinacea, who is seeking out Christoph Reeves. Mr. Reeves. We love that guy.
They're looking for Christoph. They do love that guy.
As soon as you exit the humble abode, you hear the sound of combat training in the Whitmore
Training grounds, the Whitmore Estate, yes.
And you hear a very hearty, "All right, everyone, we've only been at this an hour. What do you mean you're tired? Come on, I could do this all day. Let's go, pick it up."
Echinacea runs in and they will train with him until everyone is dismissed, however long that takes.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd say for the next hour or so. Are you kind of falling into the same formations you did before with Whistle and Co?
Yeah, what do I roll?
Yeah,
My very bad acrobatics?
Yeah, you're gonna give me an acrobatics check.
Questioning 20. A 20 you cannot bring home to mother.
A 20 you cannot bring home to your mama. All right, so you know how Reeves fights in this current form. The arm extends, and he believes that he is enough of a challenge that he's got the 16 individuals all coming at him in waves. So how do you, Echinacea, with this group, best Reeves in this moment?
They take what Whistle said to heart, and all 16 of them coordinate. 4 of them grab along the pole of the glaive. One slams it to the ground underneath their boot. 2 people tackle him at the leg from behind, and then the group just restrains him. He's just pinned to the ground. Echinacea sits cross-legged on his chest and taps on his armor.
It seems as if you've inspired rebellion. Or a very wise tactical strike.
We've done exactly what Whistle told us to do.
You're all dismissed. They all sort of get off of Reeves, and he just, he bows to the group and just says, "Excellently done. Richter and Monroe will be here later for arms training, so you can all meet here in 4 hours. Take your rest." Then you see all of them sort of bow back and just say, "Yes, sir." And they all kind of disperse, and it's you standing there with Reeves. He kind of takes his helmet off. You see the sort of sweat coming down from the brow, the slick back, black and gray hair, and the sort of the gaunt, revenant skin, those bright, otherworldly golden eyes. He just, nice work. You're improving.
Thank you. It's all because of you and Whistle and Richter and Monroe.
Don't sell yourself short. You're putting in the work.
And I am putting in the work. It's a bittersweet moment. Echinacea is looking up at this man's face, and they have no idea what it will look like at the end of the day. I've made all of the purchases I need.
You see a dead man blush. There's an eagerness and an excitement, right? In Reeves's face, you see the understanding that soon he will be free from Vamir's clutches. The leash that has been put on him by an undead god will be removed by someone who is now his oldest friend. It's exciting.
It might be a very... Christoph, I want the first day of the rest of your life to be exactly as you would wish. I scarcely know what it means to be reborn.
I have done it once. Wouldn't recommend it this way, but I have a feeling this new way is it's going to be a bit more comfortable.
I intend for it to be downright cushy, but
I could do with cushy.
Good, because I also have a proposition.
Sort of leans on the glaive and sort of goes down. Now, what do you have in mind, my friend?
Soon. I don't know quite how soon, but once I've worked up the courage, I'm going to visit Lorien again. We have a home there. A home that I'm not using, and he's still recuperating. Egret is working at the hospital.
Oh, a spitfire, that Egret. You asking me to put down roots?
I'm asking if you want to put down roots.
I'd love that. And Lorien, gods, I haven't seen him since I was breathing. It's good to know that he's alive and healing. I would like to be there for him. And to make sure that your all's home is safe. And plus, Illimbel's got the best wine this time of year.
My goodness, it does. Echinacea realizes it and remembers it as Reeve says it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm missing the mulled wine. We have time. We have time. It's okay.
You said you're building up to it, and we'll be in Illimbel sooner than later, and you can get that nice hot mulled wine. It's so delicious. I accept. Thank you for offering it.
You are one of my oldest friends. I met you as a stranger.
Well, at this point, sort of just wraps them in. You are my oldest friend. And it means the world to me. For that much kindness to be shown.
Echinacea leaves a moment of silence for Sir Declan Alcott, who was once Kristoff's oldest friend. Well, Kristoff Reeves, tell me about the perfect day.
Well, first, it's big breakfast. Did you already eat breakfast?
We happen to have an incredible, very big, very filling breakfast waiting for you.
Perfect. Even better. Big breakfast, I want to take time to draw. I want to sit in and I want to sketch. I want it to be wildlands. I want to sketch the Wyvern Peaks and I want to fill it in with really bad color. I'm real shit at coloring. Really bad. But you know what? It's the charcoal that makes the piece. And then it's going to be hard. Well, no, ice fishing is valid. I want to go fishing. I want to go fishing and then I want to end the day going on a ride.
A ride?
On a horse.
On a horse. Oh gosh. Okay.
What do you mean, oh gosh?
Nothing. I'm not afraid of those. Anyway, what else?
Terrible liar.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible liar. Frightened of horses. Well, you can sit on mine and it'll be fine. Keep you nice and safe. What else? I want to get pissed drunk with the people I care about the most. So, that's going to be you. It's going to be Lazuli. It's going to be Mr. Marino. It's going to be... Lucian can stay up in the estate. He's a bit of a posh prick. Kaelin can come. Really like him. That Richter fella, I love him. Monroe's definitely got to be there. Whistle's got to be there. No.
And Lucian, come. Please. You can, it's your day. I'm sorry, it's your day.
Lucian can come. I'm just teasing.
I used to know when you were teasing.
Now you don't. It's the wizard part of you. You get all anxious and unsure. I'm teasing.
No, you're right, it is. It is the wizard part, but I forgive them.
There they are.
Here I am.
That's all I could want. Just a day to live. Just enjoy the subtle, small things that I love. Nothing big or bombastic, minus the drinking tonight. That's gonna be bloody wicked. But other than that, a chill day soaking in my new self. That's all I could ask for.
Echinacea extends their arm very high up.
Takes it.
And they will take him to the humble abode. There's quite a lot of preparation involved. So I think Echinacea sets under like sets under a covering, and they light a bunch of tea lights to keep his breakfast hot. And then Echinacea sets about preparing their room. So they lead him up the stairs and they say, now the abode can change once a day, so make this the most comfortable room you can imagine. And then they open the door.
He's looking at it and he just, no, not yet. No, think about it. He's talking to himself. He's like, no, you're fine. I'm not committing to anything right now. Most comfortable. I see. And it is like this sort of red velvet, like very comfortable, very cushy, almost like sitting room. There's place for more than one person to sit. There's no bed, but there's like a little like lays. There's a lot of just very comfortable seating. There's a bar in the center of the space. There is a long mirror that's kind of goes around, so everybody, no matter where you're sitting, can take in the joy of the space. It's very like speakeasy vibes.
Oh, this does seem right.
Oh, this is going to fuck so hard.
Yes. Pick a comfortable place.
He kind of looks at the armor. Should I take this off?
Do you want to be reborn in it?
I think I'm gonna need a new suit of armor.
I think that we may have just the person to accomplish that.
Perfect. Takes that process to start taking off the armor.
And while he's doing... Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you please.
No.
I'm just saying, he's just kind of in casual attire.
As he's taking the 15 minutes to do that, which is good, because Echinacea needs it, they set about preparing the space. It's an hour-long ritual. And they have prepared so much for this spell. There is jasmine and honeysuckle oil that smells like the flowers in spring along the road from Drifton to Norfolk, which is traveled by the Larethian Knights and the living Ebon Eye 75 years ago. There's sandalwood and rose candles that they light, a type that Echinacea remembers Reeves commenting upon the first time he visited their home in Illenbell. They light this vetiver resin that they set to smoke on charcoal in a thurible, and it's the same scent that Echinacea smelled on Reeves's cologne during their first military parade. Just all of these scents wash through the room that smell of his life before it was lost.
You see as he begins to settle into one of the to like the lounge seating, and he just sort of leans back and puts his head on the armrest and just takes a look at his hands, like very gray, pallid, and sunken. These just decrepit features covered in scars, you know, like he's been dismembered and had things reattached. He has in this time being undead met so much physical misfortune, you know. But he sort of, you see, he takes it in, and it's clear upon his face that he wants to remember it. He doesn't want to forget this part of his life. He doesn't want to wash it away. He wants it to define this next chapter of who he's going to be, how he's going to walk and live for the rest of his life. Because no matter how dark, this defines Reeves, and it will shape who he is in the future.
Whenever you are ready, my friend. Echinacea takes his hand.
Takes a breath. Looks up at them and just, I'm ready.
And before Echinacea completes the ritual, they cast Spare the Dying one last time so they can see the color of his eyes as they were in life. Because they don't know if they'll be that color after this.
You see the eyes turn into that rich green, one that you're unsure if they will remain that rich green. That ring of fire in the center, as his deep, dark skin shows life, fullness beginning to return to it as he just shoots a wink. I got a great personality. I'll be just as handsome. Don't you worry about it.
You will be beautiful. I'm just remembering.
Takes a deep breath and just... You see as he keeps those eyes open for just an extra moment for you, and he closes them and leans his head back.
And a heatless fire, no pain to it at all, just the barest hint of warmth, engulfs Christoph Reeves. The magic of Igni, the phoenix. As in Echinacea's palms, red feathers arise and swirl around the fire and zip into that fire and begin to sculpt a new body for this man. And they pray that it does him justice.
And you cast Reincarnate. Do you want to roll the D100, or would you like me to roll the D100? I'll roll it. Okay.
Okay.
I'll roll it. All right. Everybody, want to give me some luck, some blows?
I want it to be a gnome.
No, I don't.
All right.
A gnome.
Bunny
Dwarf.
people!
No,
Small
not the
person.
Herringa.
Herringon.
Bunny people, Herringon.
I know Button doesn't want
What
it
the
at
fuck?
all.
Is that a
I will throw up.
6 or a 9?
Why, the rabbits?
69?
No.
Nice.
Could you imagine? What the okay. Oh,
Are you okay?
Yes.
Good.
Yes. All right.
What is he?
And that's where we're going to take a break. I'm kidding.
Oh my god, yes!
Echinacea.
Mm-hmm.
You see as the gray, pallid skin begins to flex off piece by piece, not in a painful way, as if a stained piece of parchment is being removed from a pack. And underneath that rotted skin, you see the same skin tone that you knew. You see
No.
as the eye... No! You see as the eyes open, they are the same green, but that gold in the center is much more present. It almost looks as if the gold within the eyes are moving, licking like flame. The red feathers of your reincarnation spell begin to lift Reeves off of the bed, or off of this seating, as he, arms outstretched, 2 golden wings sprout from his back, and a halo constructed like the faceplate of a knight's helm wraps around his head. As Christoph Reeves has been reborn as an Aasimar.
The dice do be fucking telling a story.
In the midnight hour, I can feel you back, just like a
Reeves
I'm gonna take you there.
doesn't hit the ground. He hovers. And you see, with his casual attire, the sleeves are rolled up, a bit of his chest is exposed. The scars remain. But within them, you are able to see the etchings of Celestial as names begin to fill those scars. And one directly over the chest, Sir Declan Alcott. The names of his fallen Ebony brethren, who even in death and rebirth, he will carry with him. He will fight for in this continuation of his life. Their story will be remembered in the path that he walks. He sort of looks down and just goes, "You don't even have to tell me. I look bloody good."
Oh, Kristoff. And I think Echinacea in that moment hadn't truly understood what it could mean to be reborn until they saw those wings sprout from his back and that halo form above his head. And their halo of little red birds springs to life above their head and their wings unfurl as they lift up into the sky to meet him. They clasp his hands. How does it feel?
He doesn't say a word and pulls you right into a hug. I feel alive. I feel good. You can feel tears hitting you as the two of you embrace. And he just... Thank you.
I'm sorry I took so long.
Your timing was just right.
A patient man waits half a century.
I would have waited longer, my friend. Got a whole new life to live.
And it belongs to you. It belongs only to you.
Yeah, he just cries. I think the bravado and the confidence begins to fade as he completely cries. The two of you hovering in this room, hugging. And after about like 25, 30 minutes, he just... I've cried a hole into my stomach.
No, he froze.
Ah!
You're back.
Okay. I just went, ah! I cried a hole in my stomach. Let's go get some breakfast.
And they lead him to his perfect day. Not stricken into silence, but just struck into bursts of laughter and crying, disbelief and joy.
Mm-hmm. That is absolutely reciprocated and shared throughout this day with Reeves. As Christoph Reeves has been reincarnated as an Aasimar. Inspiration point! Yank! That shit was so good. I gotta make a whole new character sheet for him. He's a fucking Aasimar now. Perfect. Okay. All right. Between Zio and Lazuli, what do we have? What do we have next on the docket, guys? God, that was fucking good. Sorry, I'm like. Ugh.
I want to open the floor to Lazuli.
Okay.
Hi, sorry I wasn't muted during that beautiful moment.
That was so funny. You're like, no!
I was gonna say no way, and then,
No
then I
way.
realized. Great.
It was very cute.
So, Lazuli wanted to check and see how much the plan with why did I want to say Victoria? Elizabeth was going.
Yeah.
Now that she feels like that's been communicated, she's going to find a quiet moment, probably somewhere outside, but nowhere in particular, and check in with Cassandra.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you're kind of moving about the city and you find yourself at the herbarium where so much happened just over a week ago. And Cassandra's sort of, I'm glad you're all right.
Thank you. I'm not sure what I can do to help you next. I thought that maybe stopping Elizabeth or dispelling the heart might have set you free of your pact. But
For some reason, I seem to linger.
our verbiage was that you would take me to the heart just at my own time, and we did go.
Yes. Well, this verbiage is particular. You weren't taken to the heart on your own time. Elizabeth took you there, and you were not willing to be taken. So, it does not meet the verbiage of that pact, unfortunately.
I see. Well,
Fey pacts are quite particular.
we could try to go there now, but the heart is gone.
Do you not wish for me to linger in your body anymore?
You are not unwelcome, but I don't want to keep you prisoner. Is there a place you'd rather be?
I have no body. I have no life. Here. Don't remember who I was, past my name. There is nothing here for me. It's a loud horse. So sorry. I don't know why that horse was just fucking sorry, excuse me. I gotta go. Jesus Christ.
It's Reeves riding by, Echinacea just holding
Yeah.
on for their life.
Or just two paladins with coconuts.
You fuck. Didn't. Two paladins with coconuts. Well, maybe we could follow your siblings' lead. Set another goal. Seems that they and Aidwolf have chosen to take other actions together. If you need help, maybe I can do the same. Kill God. Huh?
You would be a welcome ally.
Well, what is your next step?
That is something that I am attempting to decide. There are many branching paths. My unkin, Ishor, will be eventually taken to a dragon tribunal. I don't know how to prepare for that, or to save him, or if I should. That is something on my mind.
I
There's,
know.
of course. She laughs at that. Just right.
I do appreciate the conversation. It is good to get confirmation.
We could also walk the streets together if you'd like. I don't know what's more comfortable, to be incorporeal in the mind or out.
I've terrorized this city. I do not feel comfortable freely walking its streets.
There's the orchard. But happy to have you piggyback.
Well, thank you. I suppose figuring out the next steps with your Onkin would be wise. I'm more of a doer, less of an idler.
Well, Lazuli jumps up into the air and uses her primeval awareness to find her.
You could just as easily.
Anything else.
That's crazy. You could be like, "Hey, Ishror, it's me with my sending stone." You're like, "Actually, I have spell slots to burn. Don't mind if I do." You feel the
And I
draconic.
just like picking up. It's always best
Just in case there's something else.
Yeah.
You never know. You just pick up Ishror. Well, you do pick up Faye, as Uramil is still within the city. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Let me read that list of what all I get.
No, I know what the list is. I'm just trying to. I'm like trying to figure out what type this Pokemon is. No, yeah, it's just Dragon. It's just Ishror and Urmi.
What do you mean by that? Insight check on the DM.
on me. Yeah, go ahead. Roll an insight check. See what you get.
Thanks.
Yep.
Okay. Man, I wish you could just do that in real life. Like, insight check. You're kind of sus.
Actually,
yeah.
I'm trying to gauge intention.
And then, if I roll this dice right, you'll tell me more.
No, I will not do that.
No, I meant just that was a hypothetical.
Oh, got it.
That is an 18.
Yeah, no, that gets you nothing.
Oh.
Well,
I find Ishwar.
Yeah, Ishror is in the Whitmore estate. Easy enough to find him.
Got
But you feel Uramil underneath the city within the goways, within the underground tunnel systems. You make your way into the Whitmore estate, and in that side seating room where you had all found Tifna when you had made it there with Elizabeth a week prior, you see Ishwar sitting there sort of flipping through a book.
Lazuli, realizing that this is the spot where we had found Tifna. As she slowly walks into the room, she touches the wall, like kind of thoughtfully as she remembers. Do you know Tifna?
Ishwar just goes, you cannot do that. You absolutely cannot do that. It scares me, and I don't like it. Do I know Tifna? Not personally, no. I am aware that she is the Oracle for Iothalor, but I know her personally. I cannot say I do. Why do you ask?
We rescued her from Ebonite Knights here just a few days ago. I think we ought to check on her. But that's not why I came here. Classic, walk into a room, forget everything, and think of something else. Who are you?
How am I?
Yes. Not who, how.
I was concerned. I, all things considered, am well. I am just reading up on, well, quick crops. Food disparity is unfortunate here in the city. Some of the crops were wiped out, so just trying to help the lord of the city figure out the best plants to crop now.
Yes. I planted some up in the orchard just the other day.
Oh. Well,
Yes, I learned how to make these. And she kind of also manifests Fritz and brings out the tokens.
Fritz has
I don't
got
know,
him in his little stout hands. He's like,
have you two made your acquaintance yet?
they both go, yes.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Yes. Well, it's very helpful.
Lazuli looks at them and like enjoys the resemblance a little bit.
They're like, they're kind of the same
but-
dude.
But now Fritz is kind of mirrored and is an all black stoat. But she's just kind of like,
They're both sitting up
like,
very straight,
yeah.
very proper,
Yeah.
kind of like. Well, that's good. Thank you for doing these. These tied to your connection to the Earth.
Yeah.
You're excited about
You read
that?
much about it. I am.
Good. You deserve to be excited. I don't know much about the Earth. Just what I've read in books on the arcane, and the occult has never really been my speciality. But from what I hear, the Buanid Coven is respectable. And it would suit a studious girl like yourself very well.
He blushes. Thank you. If not the occult, what was the manner of magic that you were using with the dragon eggs?
Very quick pivot. Ishwar just kind of sits up. And just, yes, the dragon eggs. Well, a lot. It's a blend of the arcane and science. You see, you can call it transmutation, altering the form of one thing to create another, combining the form of one thing to create another. Learning how to alter a state by introducing a separate form, which obviously my focus was manufacturing dragon marks. And so the idea of taking it from a raw source of draconic power, eggs hold life. They're very powerful things. And so, yes, transmutation.
And had you no regard for the life you have been affecting? I want to understand why you thought it was right and worth it. I wish to defend you at this tribunal to come, so I must understand
Lazuli,
if there was any drop of right that you could have seen.
It was a shameful look. It is not your responsibility to defend me. And frankly, I do not deserve it. It is not the responsibility of the child to defend the parent. I did this wrong far, far before you came into my life. Do I regret it? Very much so. I see you, and I see Pepper, and every part of my being wishes I could go back to the man I was then and stop him. But I cannot. I did what I did for the sake of progress. And that's the lie I tell myself. That's only part of it. Because it was also for profit. I founded the Preservium, Lazuli. My actions then were to make my business more appealing. And of course it was for progress, but there was nothing good in it. I deserve to be punished. And you have your true family now.
She starts to shake her head furiously. Not without you. Not without you. I have to do my best. You would do it for me. I would do it for Echinacea, and they me. All of us. Even if I had done wrong, if they knew that my heart was good now.
You would never have done what I did, even on your darkest day. And you've had dark days with Viola, my dear. You did not do anything akin to what I did. I tampered with life before it came into this world. That girl, and it's clear that he's referring to Pepper here.
Mm-hmm.
I took something sacred from her. I took it away. And she will never receive it. Because of me. And my selfishness. And my greed.
Give it back.
I
Not in
can't.
the way that you took it. For the progress, there must be some way to repair. Maybe not just as it was, but something.
That would mean the same experiments that I conducted. And I vowed I would never do it. Ever again. And what would that fix? It would be a band-aid.
Well.
What?
if you are to just be imprisoned and punished at whatever point, you should make sure that your business is squared away at the very least.
I have already done that.
Return the things that you've taken. Help dismantle the Proservium. But I want to fight.
Lazuli. He sort of offers his hands up.
She takes them, but is still scowling.
Understandably so. I have ensured that everything I own will be left to you and your family. The collection I have amassed will be returned, or they will be donated to actual museums, actual institutions of learning. Places like the Lore Keep here. They will go back to the people who they belong to. I have already spoken with Christopher Elmsong. The Thortel Guild has promised to help seek those out. They keep immaculate records. And if I am unable to locate them, the Thortel will. And will help return these items that I have stolen. That I have kept from the world. But my home, my fortune that was not made in ill gain is yours. It will be once I am deemed guilty, which I will be. There is no defense.
Perhaps a lesser sentence.
Maybe. I'm sorry if this is not what you want to hear.
I am glad that you take responsibility. I do not take that for granted, but I cannot let you go easily.
Then we will work together. I will not take that from you.
Her shoulders finally relax. I have to try. And she hugs him.
He hugs, yeah. He
Maybe
hugs
they read
back.
together or just, spend the time.
I think both of you just sort of, sit and kind of fall into conversation, but I think that there's a weight to Ishwar right now and the accepting of the responsibility of his actions. That's and a lot of that is inspired by conversations had with Lazuli. Okay. Inspiration point. Yoink.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Do we want to take a break here and then pick up with Zia when we come back? Cool. All right. We're going to go ahead and take our first break here, and then we'll see you guys when we come back. Excellent job so far, everybody. This has been the feelsy downtime session. This is crazy. All right, everybody.
David was like, "Get me out of here."
David's like, "Yo, they're about to have so many feelings. I gotta go." We'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. Bye.
One fateful day, the fairy Lazuli fell through a rift between the Feywild and the material plane of Eosha. The amnesiac child was adopted by the reclusive silver dragon Ishwar, eventually being gifted a dragon mark and becoming his scout. Over the course of a decade, Lazuli's prowess on scouting missions has helped Ishwar grow his hoard of magical items and historical relics. Lazuli's life would change forever during one such scouting mission when she found herself facing 5 opponents to obtain a primordial current orb. Another, Zio, won the race, consuming the orb just before the Mage's Arcana members arrived to take the assembled orb seekers into custody. However, they never reached the Arcanum. Rescued from custody by Sir and Echinacea, the group, now known as the Fated, took shape. Charged by Ishur with the investigation of the Preservium, a corrupt guild trafficking in items of power, Lazuli traveled into Drifton with the Fated. There, Lazuli encountered the River King Uramil, Fae King of the Summer Court. Uramil revealed knowledge of Lazuli's parents, Lapis and Aura Isledale, as well as Lazuli's miraculous conception via Feywild Wellspring. During this time, Lazuli found herself smitten with Sir's distant relation, Captain Richter Oliphant, a valiant hero who saved those unlawfully imprisoned by the Arcanum. It would only be later revealed that Lazuli's father, Lapis, was among those saved by Richter from the Arcanum's clutches. Finding her insecurities preyed upon by the death hag Viola during this time, Lazuli was convinced to make a pact. Lazuli would be given powers provided she continued to develop her bargain. Otherwise, she would suffer the notice of the Evil Eye. Only now is Lazuli realizing that this refers to the evil god of the unallied pantheon, Ruin's Eye. Things came to a head at the Preservium's Gala of Innovation. Lazuli learned that the Preservium leader, Gale Umbridge, was formerly Ishur's scout, and that the dragon mark gifted to Lazuli by Ishur was originally meant for Gale. Worse, Ishur founded the Preservium. Lazuli also met Nivian's former employer, Dr. Satosh of the Sunwall Academy, who gifted her a vial of the death hag Viola's ichor. Much came to pass at the gala. Lazuli and Richter shared their first kiss. Lazuli adopted Echinacea as her sibling, and perhaps most notably, Lazuli caught her first glimpse of her father during the exhibition. The next day, Lazuli reunited with Lapis, who now travels with the Fated. On the path to reuniting with her mother, Aura, Lazuli found herself in the midst of a combat that felt too great to surmount. In that moment, she made a choice to deepen her pact with the death hag Viola. Drinking the ichor gifted to her by Dr. Satosh, Lazuli became a warlock. The deepening of this pact revealed a terrible truth. The death hag who holds her pact is none other than Elizabeth Whitmore, beloved of Sir, and twin of the Fated's ally, Lucian Whitmore. Through the trials of reuniting with her mother, navigating the pains of joining two families into one, learning that Ishur faces a draconic tribunal for crimes against 5 dragon eggs, resurrecting Echinacea and Whistle, transforming into a witch of the Ith, Lazuli has refused to kill, knowing that death will feed her pact keeper, Elizabeth. We find Lazuli delving into the Saiva home catacombs. There, she meets Inara, the Ruin's Eye devotee who took Lazuli's family from her. Defying Inara's attempts at corrupting her, Lazuli resisted taking a sliver of divinity for her own and left Inara alive. Lazuli herself was not so lucky, dying by Lord Tarvish's hand during combat with Whistle's former captain, Izradan. In death, she was confronted by Elizabeth's rage at not being fed. Now, after being brought back by Echinacea, Lazuli finds herself feeling above the state of death. Elizabeth awaits on the horizon, a threat to outwit. A fairy's work is never done.
Born in the Scorched Isles, Zio Marino grew up in the comfort of a loving family, only tangentially understanding the meaning of conflict. As with most young folks of the Scorched Isles, when they came of age, they traveled to the mainland of Tolesh, seeking purpose and knowledge to return to the Isles with. It was there that Zio joined forces with the Bright Fury Guild. Not long after, a mysterious voice spoke to Zio, and believing this to be his purpose, a pact was struck with the entity Isterus. Isterus sought a primordial orb, a rare object tied to the primordial current, a source of power which harnesses the sea of raw materials swirling in the plane of the elemental chaos. Zio found the orb first, beating several others. including Lazuli and Nivian, in their own pursuits of the artifact. Finding the first orb was only the beginning, tying his path to the companions they now call family, the Fated. In their travels, they have come to learn more of Isterus, a Famar Earth Primordial, as well as the Union of the Tranquil. As creators of the Primordial Current, a centuries-long battle wages against the factions of the natural order: earth, wind, fire, and water. Isterus' dark influence and manipulations were revealed to Zio through the wisdom of Halides, the Vacron Air Primordial member of the Tranquil. Seeking out more Primordial Current orbs, Zio found themselves contending against Wit and Alma, the avatars of Coletra and Glacia respectively, the Union of the Tranquil's fire and water contingents. These chosen warriors who seek to destroy the Primordial Current believe that no one should harness its power. Halides believes the current should not be destroyed, but rather shared with the world. Zio aims to understand the Primordial Current. It is during these times that Zio learns Isterus' goal of vengeance against Sunwall, wanting the current for himself. Zio severed his warlock pact with Isterus, unwilling to follow the morals of an entity that seeks retribution and destruction. After the severing of this pact, Zio, in their weakened state, fell victim to necrotic energies that, without the strength provided by Isterus, killed them outright. Thankfully, Zio was revived by the party's healer Echinacea. Despite this setback, Zio has managed to obtain 2 more Primordial Current orbs from under the noses of Wit and Alma. Following Zio's death and resurrection, Halides awakened Zio's primordial soul powers, revealing them to be a descendant of Vacron heritage and a sorcerer by birthright. After learning that his body could only absorb a set number of orbs before absorbing him into the Primordial Current, Zio grappled with their desire to continue collecting this power. In order to convince Coletra and Glacia not to destroy the current, they initially believed they would need every boon they could get. However, over the course of a conversation with Ishror, a silver dragon and Lazuli's adoptive father, Zio found themselves rejecting their impulse to consume any more Primordial Current orbs. Upon meeting the spirit caller Isandro, Zio found themselves drawn to the practice of communing with the Amine spirits of Ayosha, and drawn to the practitioner himself. Throughout their travels, Zio has begun to train as a spirit caller in their own right, navigating an uneasy alliance with Wit, a deepening of animosity with Alma, and a newfound connection to the natural world. Zio travels the corners of Tolesh with his fated companions, seeking an understanding of the current, its place in the balance, and any thread that will allow him to heal the pain the Primordial Current has caused.
They can see and hear you. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tolesh. We're going to dive back into this session.
Amazing.
Angie,
What?
let's check in with your boy. Where are they at?
Well, I think Zio has been. Huh?
Go ahead, sorry.
Is your neck okay?
Yeah, why?
Just doing that. Oh God, where was I? At the top of the Whitmore estate. Yes. Zio has been up here, just watching, I think meditating, but not like, not in the sense of when he'd done so before where he willfully set himself up for meditation. It's been very much a sort of dissociative state more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
As they've just been watching the going-ons of the city from the distance. And feeling the wind on their face. And knowing that it's been, what is it, just about a week?
About a week.
It's been only a week. Just the thought of how much has changed in the span of just 10 days and how different they feel. And they decide to try and call for Helitis.
Give me a perception check, actually.
Perception?
You're sitting toward the heights of the city, kind of looking down on it as you're having these thoughts and feelings. Give me a perception check. Oh.
18.
18.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually see Helitis walking around the tea garden. You see as he is taking in the flowers. He is looking at the tea sets. He is just kind of enjoying the space.
Does Helitis present themselves in like a disguise, in a more humanoid-like disguise? And
yeah, he looks like that of a human man right now.
yeah, because there's
those
the
big
Vacron.
Fucking birds just like flying
There's
around
the
city.
Vacron, and then there is kind of like the kind of entity sort of form where there's more of that feather-like, more of that like sort of primordial energy.
Fully glamoured into the form of a human.
Okay.
But still with
What
like
is
those
it
kind of white robes and
yeah,
just sort of walking around. You see he has this large gnarled like walking stick that he's just kind of using, and yeah, he's just walking around.
Yeah, I think upon seeing him, it's like a moment of surprise because it's just like Zio has not seen him as just like glamoured as a man.
Yeah.
So they're going to take a very nonchalant step from where they were at, as if they're starting into a walk, but then kind of dive down the estate with their boots of flying before they gently and calmly take a stride right up besides Helitis.
Okay. Yeah, you glide down the side of the estate and sort of land in the tea garden. As in front of you is the hand. Helitis still taking on that same general humanoid form. Black man with these long hair that streaks to gray on the side. Very old, like weathered features. But he hands you White Lily, the same flower as Claudette Marie Laveau III of the Iothalor, or the Whitmore Laveaus. Hands it over and just, it's good to see you.
Hello. I know her cousin.
Oh, cousin?
About the lily.
You didn't tell me you had a cousin.
I don't know. I'm riffing. I'm riffing here. I can't really talk to the plants, but there is a.
Well, you can.
There, can I?
Yes.
Can I?
They're flower almanae. You can.
Oh yeah. I haven't tried to talk to Echinacea's flowers. They're always around.
They're always around.
I know they always talk to them, but I haven't talked to them myself.
They're there if you'd like a conversation. Sort of tucks the flower behind your ear.
You know, white lilies are supposed to represent death, right?
Death is a part of life. And there are so many small deaths that we experience.
How do you like Iothalor now? That it's, not falling apart and being taken up by crazy knights trying to, destroy us and all the fun stuff.
Those knights were serving a purpose. Misguided. I do like it much more when it's not occupied than when the people are smiling. I was down by the fountain over there reading books to children.
Oh,
What is that like? You know, you're getting to experience something as young as a child with how long you've lived.
It's joyous. It's very healing for an old soul. I've not given myself the opportunity to venture in the material plane as often as maybe I should, being someone who tended to it in its infancy. It feels good.
I know that was a long time ago. You know, all the way back to the creation of Ayosha, right?
Correct. Yes. Once the planet was formed, that's when the Tranquil and I, we saw an opportunity. We came here.
Your goal between the four of you.
Well,
And I mean, aside from just creating this thing, like your heart's goal, your soul's goal, between the four of you, you must have spoken about it.
and yes, we all had many conversations in the Sea of Ervas on the elemental plane of water. We wanted to nurture it. We wanted to bring the four core elements together and to see what grew here. It was well and truly an experiment, and the more I see it, the more I think of it now, it was four elementals trying to play God. We had brought our power together, and there's a deep sigh as Elias kind of just weighs his next words. And then we wanted to bring the elemental chaos into the fold.
Is that when things went sour? Between the four of you? Did you all agree to bring the elemental chaos, or?
We all agreed. Everything that we did at the beginning was agreed between the four of us. We saw it important to introduce the opposite of tranquility. Nature is not just tranquility. It is peace. It is chaos. We thought to have this be a true test of what the primordial current was and is, that the elemental chaos needed to be a part of it. But things went sour in the midst of the Divanthier Empire. Yes. There's sort of a longing look as Helitis sort of looks off in the middle distance and thinks. You can tell he's sort of like reliving some things.
Aside from the Divanthier, were there any other factions? You know, not just the Famar, the Vakron, and the Wynars and the Beliths. Were there anyone else involved?
In creating the current and maintaining it. Is that what you're asking?
I guess at the time,
It was just
maybe
our...
not so. Maybe not so in creating it. I understand now that it was just the four of you and that one mage. But
You talk
was
about
anyone-
maintaining it.
yes, was anyone else ever involved?
The only party who was not of the original four was Kada, the Divantha mage. I was brought into the fold. Other than that, I think all of us agreed in our own ways, and in ways that ended up conflicting with one another. We wanted control of it. We wanted to ensure that it was in the hands of its creator. And Isteris and I agreed to reach out to Kada. We'd seen what the Divantha were doing. They created their own biomes. It was the perfect blend of technology and nature. Self-sustaining ecosystems that not only harnessed the primordial current, but elevated it. And it was in the midst of the Divantha Empire where we started to see the negative effects of the elemental chaos's influence. It began to lash out. It did not like to be contained. And we sought
The
out...
chaos.
Which is not malicious by any means. It simply is what it is. Kada was a magistrate. She was well respected in the Emperor's court. She worked alongside a powerful military leader by the name of Lord Vendrick. At this point, the planet itself was young, vulnerable to extraplanar assaults.
Pause.
Okay, pause. Is everything okay?
Was Vendrick the name that Whistle heard?
Yep. You players
don't know.
that. Your characters do not know that.
Yeah.
But
I
yes,
was just
above table confirmation, Lord Vendrick is the name that Whistle heard in the mines.
sorry. I was like,
No. You're fine. Always ask for clarification. That's more than fine.
Okay, it's all coming together. Anyways. Okay, so she was well respected. She worked for the military leader, Lord Vendrick.
Yeah, she worked alongside. She was well respected by the Emperor of the Divantha Empire, and she helped keep the Empire. And Halitis describes the way that the Empire looked. Right, it was technologically advanced, and the cities were built atop each other. They were reaching skyward, and the core of that empire was seated in Tolesh. But they began to expand to what was known as Drukamesh, where their largest city was built and the empire relocated to what is now known as Ulkes.
Okay. Did this emperor know about what Kada was doing?
Yes, we had to sanction his approval to have one of his mages spend time with us. They were quite secretive of their work, and mages in more recent society are very akin to advisors, or some sort of representative of the crown. And we sought out Kada to create A system to keep the elemental chaos within the current at bay. And she came up with the Tetheriums. As soon as the rogue magic would attempt to lash out, a Tetherium would take it in, absorb that raw elemental power. And it would not impact, and the impact of the elemental chaos was dire. There was a city, and you see as he kind of like takes the wind and forms an illusion, what you see is Aosha, but the continents are very different. In fact, there is just one supercontinent. You can see pieces that look like the edge of... You see something that looks like the bottom half where Seameat would be in Drifton. You see where an island would have split off on top, and you have Calmont in Drukimash. Or Cambeliard. You see how this world split apart as a result of the world changing. A great cataclysm. A great cataclysm. There were cities that were wiped off of the face of this planet by some of these... We called it... They were chaos surges.
Chaos surges.
Yes.
Okay. What triggered them? The chaos surges?
Nothing. It is just the nature of the elemental chaos to be chaotic. And
So no triggers, no warnings?
no triggers, no warnings. Truly chaos. And obviously people's lives depended on safety. So, Istris and I banded together and petitioned Coletra and Glacia to find aid within the Divanthere Empire. They were skeptical. But progress, finding a means to live with the worlds as it exists now, he looks to the city, something that's so different to what the world was when the Divanthere Empire was at its height. We have to coexist with this. That is why we came here, to see what beauty would grow.
When did the practice of using avatars begin?
It did not begin until after the fall of the Divanthere Empire. Once it fell, we thought it was important to ingratiate ourselves into society from the beginning. Early peoples here, the first humans, elves, and dwarves. Avatars were selected by those who chose. Most of us didn't. Right away. It was hard to think of someone as worthy. It was hard to put faith in what we saw as an infant. The first to choose was Coletra. And, well, it went well. It was someone who spoke our truths, spoke of our children. The belief in the Vacron created phoenixes. There's so much that was born from us. And the avatars became almost shepherds. But it went awry when Istra saw humanity getting too advanced. Caused him great fear to think of these infants becoming...
Sorry, there was a mosquito.
The slap. It was dead silence and then... Just a clap. You're so fine. I'm sorry that I'm a toddler.
No, you're fine.
You're gonna cut that in post. Istrus became fearful at the idea that what he perceived as infants could grow to be as powerful, if not more powerful than him. At that point, and this was well before the Scale Scourge. Peoples were young, societies. I do not even recall the kingdoms that were in place. But I helped to lead a village of humans. And Vakron and human lived one as one. Equals. Tending to the earth. Istrus poisoned that village. Killed them all. Just to make sure he knew that they were weak. And then I relented. I began to cower. Because I had never seen him vindictive like that. Vengeful towards something he helped create.
How? And you don't have to answer, but I'm curious, how did you meet Istrus?
I met him on a visit to the elemental plane of Earth. It's custom for us in higher education to visit the other planes, to see the other parts of our whole. Istrus was a scholar and a bit of a philosopher. He was giving a lecture to others of his kind to talk about the possibility of expansion. I thought it was beautiful then. Now I see how truly foreboding it was. We met far before this planet was formed.
You said it was beautiful then. So, how did it start? What was it about him?
He was confident and eager, and I thought him so wise. He made me want to try new things. He lit a fire in me that I didn't know existed. It started because he asked me to write with him. And I did. And I fell in love with him by the end of that night.
One night?
He wrote like a poet. There was a song in every word. And I could hear it, like a whisper on the wind. I was utterly captivated. So yes, one night. We admired each other from afar for a few decades. And then the idea of the Tranquil came.
When did you notice the change?
During the second lashing, the elemental chaos surged, and we had enough time to save them, but Istris told me not to. Told me that nature needed to take its course. And I listened. In the pit of my stomach, I knew something was wrong, but I didn't. I pushed it down. I denied it. But I watched a city crumble. And people die.
Elidas, he destroyed you. But you should have a choice in what happens to him.
No.
I think
No, I should not.
you haven't thought of that.
I am a gardener. I bring life. At least I want to. A gardener does not punish a weed. There is no malice in that. I don't. It is not my place to punish Istris.
But punishment isn't the only choice.
I don't have a say over
And-
his life. Yeah, I don't. You could say this like that would be how he wanted to approach things. And I don't wish to have control over someone else's existence.
There's a part of Sio that is still holding on to the promise of healing Istris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But has learned that that's a very small part in this entire, this entire odyssey of
Yeah.
where they fit in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
They've spoken the words to Istris that they want to see him healed. And yet, Zio feels very small
Mm-hmm.
in this tale. And also knows that there's a difference in healing someone's pain over healing, the wicked, rotted parts
Yeah.
of that makes it them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a part of Sio that looks at Helitis in their indecisiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Were you there when I made the promise with Alma?
Promise. I am not omniscient, Zio. I am not everywhere all at once. What promise?
Well, something I wanted to learn from you was maybe some insight on why Glacia hasn't pushed for her own avatar to go into the current. And they were relying on wit. And he's no longer Coletra's avatar. There's been hundreds of avatars before, I'm assuming. People who've tried.
The goal hasn't developed until far more recently. Say about 200 years ago.
Well, it kind of feels like Alma is escaping sort of the fate that a lot of us have been manipulated into.
Almost conniving. She is just as manipulative as the elementals you speak of. She has not been strapped with any fate because she does not wish that for herself.
Do you think that she might be playing Glacia then?
I don't know their relationship nearly enough, but I think it is a possibility because that woman plays every hand she can. Zio, tell me you did not agree to go into the current.
I did.
Why?
I did it to save a life.
Like I said, she is conniving. Do you truly? And he kind of like leans down. Do you truly wish to enter the current? To undo the Tetheriums that are keeping back the chaos surges? And to unleash them on this world?
I just don't want them to destroy it. If the primordial current is as important as it is to this world, and if the only way for them not to destroy it is to remove the Tetheriums and the Divanthier magic that's been clouding it, and that's the only option.
There is always another way.
But we don't know that way yet.
Yet. They don't have the power they need to destroy it. We have time.
There's more that I agreed to. I asked for an audience with them, with the two of them. I'd prefer it if you were there. And I asked for help against Isterus.
Help in what sense?
Well, for the little time that he was with me, there was a lot of ire towards Sunwall. So, my assumption is that he might turn some of his focus towards there. Who knows? But anything to stop him.
Yes. first focus should be the meeting. We need to prepare. You see this determination on Helidas' face that you haven't seen before. But there is ample fear and sadness at the decision that's been made.
Helidas, I agree. There's not another option yet. And you're right, I don't want to go in there. But I must. If there is no other option, I must.
We will discuss this when we decide that there are no other options.
I need to understand one other thing. Wouldn't it be better to trust somebody else as your avatar? If I won't be by your side for long and make you stronger.
I don't seek an avatar to be strong. And we do not know how long you will be here. I hope it is a long time. We must not bend the knee to defeat before the battle is fought. You may still be my avatar yet, but time will tell that.
It still doesn't feel like I deserve it. But I appreciate you regardless.
Just sort of pulls you in as you two begin to walk toward the humble abode as Helidas is seemingly intent on some research. Okay. Take an inspiration point for that. That's a great line of questioning. That's fucking really great questioning. Nicely done, Angie.
Thank you.
It's important. There's a lot of great insight there. All right. Echinacea, Lazuli. What are you guys up to?
Echinacea was in the Whitmore estate. They are leaving, checking in on all of the victims from the demiplane, tending to their needs, bringing some of them books from the lore keep and such, bringing writing supplies for our author, Lucian.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, of course.
New series in mind.
Oh, goodness. Well, if you want to give someone a sneak peek, I'd love to hear about it.
Oh, I will show you. Yes. begins writing a first draft. Absolutely.
They make their way down the hall and stop at Lucian's room. The room that they know that he's been sneaking out of every night to come visit with the party.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a moment where they just think about everything that has been foisted onto his plate so rapidly. And they see, at least in their mind's eye, those moments of sneaking out, those tiny rebellions as an attempt to cling to something familiar. So Echinacea casts knock on the door to open it.
You open it. Lucian is not in the office.
They close it quickly and quietly.
Give me a stealth check.
Okay.
Aedwulf pops out. What are we doing?
25!
Oh, fuck yeah. Okay. Just easily, just no noise as you turn the knob. Aedwulf's like, what are we doing here?
We are here to commit petty theft in a fun way.
I see.
So When we were first here, and when Lucien was not our friend yet, we were figuring out that he was going to attempt a coup, which now we know was at the behest of the Magus Arcanum, though he didn't know that. We caught him.
Yep.
Zio caught him, then Sir caught him, and then I got upset about it. I took a bunch of items from his room that I thought might be important to our investigation, but I felt bad about it, so I left a bunch of IOUs. They scoot over to his bookshelf and they pull the Cult Bestiary, Volume 3, out, and they write a little IOU, and they stick it there with a box of chocolate that's almost the same size and length as the book.
Perfect.
We'll see how long it takes him to notice.
We'll see how long it takes him to notice. We're doing petty theft. Can I shit in here?
No, this is for fun.
I know.
Also, your shit is my shit, so no, doubly no.
All right, petty theft it is.
The point is to give him a little scavenger hunt. He's gonna get it back. I'm gonna keep it on my person, and I probably won't even notice when he takes it, but it's just a little bit of normalcy. A little bit of fun.
He's going to appreciate it.
And if he doesn't, he will appreciate the chase, because I will run away.
Give me a perception check.
Oh no.
Oh no.
11?
There's a lot of footsteps going on right now in the Whitmore estate.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to gauge where they are. It's honestly, there's so many of them. It's almost like you don't hear them at all.
Noisy in here.
Yeah.
Okay. Echinacea looks at the door. No. They go to the window and they unlatch it. Gotta leave clues.
Oh. What are your clues?
The window's gonna be open.
Oh. You see a wolf paw going to the inkwell on the desk?
I will allow it. Yes.
Okay. Have you ever read the book Navy's Hints?
No.
It's about a little dog that leaves clues. It's a Blue's Clues joke.
Oh my gosh.
They sort of tip the inkwell onto their paw and like slap one on the desk, and then, all right, one for the carpet too.
No! they cast prestidigitation on that one immediately.
Fine, okay.
No.
The wooden windowsill.
Lucian's not an idiot, and I feel like you're leaving very explicit clues this first time around, Navy.
Fine, sorry. I was just trying to have a little fun with it.
No, that's fine. Tell you what do you want to leave an IOU for?
Oh, shit. Okay.
No reason.
Fine. You see the wolf walk out from your shadow and turn into the humanoid form. Just like a really natural transition is like the wolf stands on its hind legs, and then it's Aedwolf as he just sort of leans down. Oh, have to take this. Takes Lucian's half capelet, the one he wears all of the time, and it's like,
no, that is mean.
Yeah, but he's gonna know it's gone, which is the point we want him to know, right?
No, we want him to discover that I picked something innocuous.
So this is a no?
No, tell you what. Oh, we'll be tricksy. Echinacea takes out their Magus Arcanum Shift Weave, and they make it look almost exactly like Lucian's capelet.
That's really good. I really like that. Okay.
But it is embroidered with a little cipher that, if Lucian solves it, says, "I have it. EB."
I love that. Okay. Give me an intelligence check to write that cipher.
May I use
appeal something.
Arcana, because I'm doing this with the Shift Weave.
Absolutely. More than fun.
22.
Oh yeah, more than enough. You're a cunning linguist, so you're able to weave the what?
Yes.
You're able to create this cipher and weave it into the shift weave in a way that is noticeable, but to a blind eye and to an eye not nearly as intelligent as you or Lucian is not going to catch it. But you're pretty confident that he'll definitely see it.
He'll see it eventually. They drape it exactly where it was.
Yeah, okay. Drape it. And then the door opens.
No, they leap out the window and fly.
You see the ducal guard run off. Ah! It was Dr.
Oh,
Oh.
hello. They
Hello.
turn around. They're floating outside the window. Hello. I'm so sorry. I am leaving an IOU for Lord Whitmore.
An IOU for Lord. He's right down the hall. Do you wish to speak to him?
No. It is a surprise.
Oh, you see they both go. Understood.
Thank you, gentlemen. I shall see you at training tomorrow.
See you at training tomorrow, Echinacea. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You see
Fly
us,
away before he gets there.
As you fly off, you hear, "My lord, it seems that somebody's been in here." Lucian goes, you hear from down the hall like, "What? What do you mean?"
Oh,
Move!
no, now I feel bad.
Adwell's like, "No, he loves this shit. He truly loves an investigation. We're letting him have this."
Understood. Echinacea flying along the Whitmore estate and talking to their shadow that's being that's darkening the side of the wall. Right, understood. Got it.
Got it. And you have initiated an IOU investigative game with Lucian Whitmore. Oh, this is very good. I love this. Inspiration point. Cute. Lazuli, what are you up to, girl? If I understand that was the end of the
Montages.
scene button. Is that correct? Okay, yeah. I just
Well, Lazuli is going to spend some time badgering Kaylin to ask about how Cleric and even Echinacea and their Cleric self, just understanding their spells, going over things like ceremony, shopping for all the new components because they have so many spells and it's just a lot more junk to carry around. And so she's supply shopping and bartering just some nice towns, and we'll pop by training when Richter is helping, and we'll either help, like maybe just hold scabbards or just assist in the way that she can, not getting too physically tactile unless it's target practice. And then
Perfect.
she'll give Monroe a few pointers.
That's crazy. You spend the time
Particularly.
with Kaylin and Echinacea, and I imagine you take in a good bit of knowledge on what it means to be a cleric from them. Like, go ahead, Button. You look like you had something to say.
You're going to need powdered silver. This one is annoying because it gets consumed every time. Then, holy water. Same thing, but you can bless it. Yes. The blessing process is also a thing, and that will use your magical resources. But we do our best. And then one thing that's going to help you is a holy symbol.
Oh, I see. A holy symbol.
Well, holy symbols are very important.
And what are yours?
Looks to Echinacea. Please.
After you, love.
He pulls out a matching necklace to Echinacea's with the moon and the rose. It was just a fairly base level pendant, but it's the items that we give power, that give us power in return. And so I made these for us, and I have channeled my strength into this. Take a lot of time at temple, though, and that is another good note. You want to make sure to spend Ample time at temple, and he's just kind of like not making eye contact with anybody. He's like, it is important to worship. Yes.
Echinacea also not making eye contact with anyone, just staring at like a cabinet. Yes, that too. Yes, important.
Yeah, so much worshipping.
Well,
Take me to church.
This man knows how to pray.
It's an awesome God he raised.
You are very good at praying yourself. Sorry. Yes. The time to commune with one's deity is very important. Very important.
Very well. Thank you.
Mhm.
And though I am not strictly a cleric anymore, Echinacea summons their red feather of Igni. This is my focus for healing. My channel to the primordial current.
Lazuli sits and she says, I think I have an idea. But it needs some time to be rightly shaped.
Take all the
Can
time
we
you
help
need.
you?
That.
Also that.
Henry Oten only make weapons, or is he purely a smith?
Well, he's a smith. He's the town's smith and artificer. So Harry would be able to make a great many things.
I might commission him to make a bell for me. I picked up this one on the day after we claimed the city, but I think I just made it look like a rose. It's not really one. It's just something I found, but I think commissioning one, a tolling of time, and bells can be joyous things rung on weddings, but also rung during death, each hour. And of course, they remind me of you, Echinacea. And
Wishes.
I do love a bit of a play on words, so it will be shaped like a rose.
I'm so flattered. Oh, I think that's a beautiful idea, Lazuli. Something for the momentous moments.
I will affix it to my staff.
I love that. I'm excited to see what you and Harry Oten create.
Thank you both so much for your help.
Thank you for seeking it out.
I'm so impressed.
I have to go.
I have to go. You make your way to the training ground, and once you're there, Richter's like, "Oh, guys, I gotta show off. I gotta go fucking ham here." So in a similar, what the fuck?
He said the fuck word.
Alec said the fuck word. Richter didn't say the fuck word. Richter doesn't curse unless he does. But he does. He takes on a similar air to what Whistle and Monroe have taken up, and you see that he's like, as soon as he sees you flit up, he's like, combat positions. And it's almost mean. It's almost mean. He's like taking the blunt, like the shaft of his hammer, and like pulling the legs out from underneath like unsuspecting trainees, and he's just kind of like he's stopping to take a moment to pose, and like just to kind of like just flex his back muscles just enough for them to glisten, and he just says, "Oh, Lazuli, I didn't see you there."
You've either gotten stronger or these trainees are quite weak.
Oh. No. No, they're not weak. They're not that. No.
well, is there anything I can do to assist? I'm running around doing errands and picking up some components. I'm about to pop by Harry Oten's, but I wanted to swing by. Maybe we could grab lunch together. You've been working quite hard. You sure have been working quite hard.
The crazy thing is that this is Declan's relative.
Oh, fuck. She has one line.
She's got
One line and one type.
one line, one type. Big, redhead, muscular.
Who works hard?
Who works hard.
Yeah.
Richter is just, I'd absolutely love to, yeah, let's get lunch. Let's do that. Looks at Monroe. It's your training ground now. Monroe's like, oh, you're fucked. You're fucked, buddy. All right. Perfect.
Cracking knuckles
Oh,
over
no.
here.
Pop, 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 pop. He just starts shooting these like trains. Yeah. Call an ambulance. Call an ambulance.
Enough.
Not for me. Not for me. But yeah, you and Richter head to lunch. Absolutely. Yeah. All right.
And it's just one of those things where you just look at the people and you're like, oh my gosh, and just make everyone else in the restaurant puke.
Yeah. You guys are making it a very hostile environment to eat in. Like,
It's cupcake love.
Yeah.
It's like eating each other. It's just
that's
like the
fucking vile, dude. That's
the
actually
cheesiest in RE that you could ever fucking have.
Get it, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Thanks.
yeah, you and Richter have lunch and have a lovely day. Any other like montagey stuff that folks want to do here?
I think Zio at some point, in the time and everything, whether it doesn't have to be like the same day. Because I know there's like the thing with Isandro, but not the same day.
Yeah.
But they're going to find Echinacea.
Oh,
Zio, hello. How are you? How are you doing?
Where are we right now? I think
it's up to you guys.
more than anything, would Echinacea ever at some point go to the lore hold or something?
The lore keep?
The lore
Absolutely.
The lore hold.
I thought you said lore
The
hole.
bulwarks.
Tell you what, this is perfect because there's a montagey thing for Echinacea and Kaelin there.
Yeah.
They have all of these books spread out studying demiplanes and amanuensis and quick copying, and you see them poring over, like they're crafting like early architectural layouts for a library, and you can see them kind of like no check required. It's kind of mimicking Viola's demiplane structurally, but you see where there are like these obfuscating tunnels. It's instead like wide open spaces that lead out into atriums. And yeah, they're working together on a library design.
Yeah, so I think Zio would have probably found out from someone that they were working at the lore keep, and they kind of like teeter around trying to look for them, and then when they finally find them, I can almost imagine they're so focused into their studying that it's kind of getting later in the evening, and so it's a little bit darker. It's kind of the thing where like the world you let the world get dark around you. So I think Zio is going to just kind of quietly go and like turn on like the like light sconces or anything.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's how like they make their presence known the moment that the room gets a little bit brighter, and then they're like, this is really bad for your eyesight.
This is incredible because both of them have dark vision and they're just like in the dark, like, no, this looks great. This is perfect. Yeah, we could. It's true.
But everything starts getting gray.
Yeah, like-
Yeah. They're literally, Kaelin and Echinacea are forehead to forehead on opposite sides of the table looking at something together. And you turn on the light and they both reel back. Oh!
Ow! Shit!
Hello.
Hello!
Hi, Zio. Oh.
You're all working. You're both working very hard.
We're working late.
Yeah. I
We're
can
not
see
a
that.
singer.
No. Well,
We're working late.
building a library.
I wanted to ask for your help if you'd have a well, I don't want to disturb you if you guys are really deep in it.
I think we're in a good position to put a little bookmark in this. What do you think, my love?
Echinacea starts rolling it up. I
Oh.
do see that I started making notes that I'd already made before, so I think you're right. Then maybe calling it here and returning fresh tomorrow, love.
Oh god, seeing the two of them together, Zia's just kind of like, just gets that moment of just like, oh.
Meanwhile, I have to keep it professional with my
The same
boyfriend.
discomfort
Yeah.
that Lazuli is causing in a restaurant, Echinacea is causing in a library.
Zia's just like, god damn it, I'm surrounded by people who are in love. And then just sort of like,
people who are in love.
and Azio turns to Echinacea and just,
I was hoping you could help me with crafting some scrolls because I've never done it before, and
Absolutely.
I have an idea, and I don't know how it would work. But I've seen you make the bookmarks, but that's with the magic-y stuff. Would you
Zia,
be
the
able?
bookmarks are easy.
So is it any bookmark that already exists? You can make it into the magic bookmark?
Yes, absolutely. They have to be mundane, as a matter of fact. If they have magic on them, my magic won't take.
Okay. Well, if you're really tired from a long day of work and everything again, I don't want to,
Zio, I have time for you. I always have time for you.
okay.
and then Zio is going to very succinctly like take out their little marvelous pigments box, and then also sit across from Echinacea and says,
I was thinking of making some scrolls for sending because I haven't used it these last 2 weeks, but I thought that maybe at some point it would come in handy because I only get one a day. And sometimes I think I'm going to have to be doing a lot of communicating soon.
That usage is tied to one of the tetheriums you absorbed, correct? So it's limited. This
Yes.
way, it won't be limited, and you won't have to use the same source. I understand.
Yeah. So
do I roll anything, Alec?
Yeah, so for you're going to roll, and I imagine Echinacea is assisting.
yeah.
Yes,
This
I wish
you're-
to assist.
You're going to roll an Arcana check with advantage.
Arcana with advantage. Oh,
Yep,
I'm not very
I
good at
believe-
Arcana, but I do have.
I want to double check the rules here.
Uh-huh.
Crafting spell scrolls 5e.
I know that you've shortened the time because the 5e rules as written are an eon.
So, I don't like these rules, so we're going to go with mine. Sending is a 3rd level spell, so it is going to cost you 300 gold pieces. And the
Easy.
DC for that, you have to beat a 15 Arcana check.
Okay.
And you have advantage because Echinacea is assisting, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, you have
15.
advantage before you roll.
Yeah.
Echinacea looks at you and says, just because it's the first time, I have to remember which spell does the thing I want.
For
One
the
second.
first time in forever.
Echinacea will cast Bless on Zio.
Yes. What does this
So you
look
can
like?
add
Nice. Nice.
They have been looking at their matching necklace with Kaylin and thinking about how they're not technically a cleric anymore despite their faith. And as they look at it, the little rose lights the same blue as the sliver of divinity for just a moment. And that rose, boom, alights upon your forehead, Zio. It's just like a kiss on the forehead. You might not even feel it. But Echinacea blesses Zio as they start copying this down, and they are kind of leaning over Zio's shoulder. And so the trick with everything is creating a cipher that is easy for you to decipher.
Okay. I think seeing Echinacea use that spell, Zio is also going to be like, oh wait, I have a thing. And then going to cast guidance on myself to also try. So I know bless is a d4, and then I think guidance is another d4.
Yep, so it's 2d4.
Okay,
So you'll roll...
An
you'll
advantage.
You'll roll your Arcana check with advantage and an additional 2d4. You'll only roll the 2d4 once.
Got it. And then the guidance is very sudden. It's almost like this little wisp of air that kind of poofs, almost like Ghibli style. And
Echinacea's floating hair goes straight up when it happens.
I don't think... Oh man, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be enough, gamers.
What is it?
Because it's a 4 and a 2. That's 6. No. So 14.
No!
Yeah.
Can
I have inspiration.
You have inspiration. If you want to use an inspiration, please do.
Let's try it. Let's try it. Yeah. Even worse.
Kaylin casts...
Can-
Go ahead, bud.
I know we've done it before, can Echinacea, since they are aiding, gift Zio an inspiration?
Absolutely.
Is that possible?
Yep. Do it.
That breeze that propelled upwards Zio propels back downwards all of a sudden in a rush. There's so much wind in this library.
20!
Yes!
There's this like moment of like frustration as like Zio's trying to understand it. Like it's that whole idea that they've been in a lot of they've been in a place of like study for like the past 2 weeks a lot, especially with the Amine. And that's sort of like an outside thing, but now they've had to like focus everything into this more this written form of study, something that they are so not used to, and they feel so frustrated with it all of a sudden. But then there's that sort of like sharp brightness as Echinacea forces this advantage onto and this assistance onto it, and then I think it takes. And so just sort of like, I think I got it.
You did! You did! Look at this. This is very impressive spellcraft. Oh my goodness.
Very nice job, Zio.
I couldn't have done it without you. Oh.
You can do this without me. I'm just here helping you your first time. You can do this.
I hope so. Maybe next time I'll try it by myself. And then
And that's not me saying I won't help. I'm just saying that you can. I know you can.
I'd like your help.
Oh, sorry, that made me so tender. That one hit me in the little Pillsbury Doughboy spot. Oh. Zio, for me, how many sending scrolls are you crafting?
I was hoping for 3. That might be a lot.
No, that's fine. We're going to keep, but it will be, because it's 300 gold per scroll, so it's going to be 900 gold pieces. Which you're like, there you go.
I'm swimming it.
I'm swimming it. Absolutely.
I'm like, thank God I can reduce. Now I'm at 10,000. We're still in
That's crazy.
in the 5.
But yeah, you absolutely craft the spell.
And I think as there's a period of time as they're together crafting this, I think maybe in between when Echinacea's taking a pass off like the different stuff, or maybe like focusing back on some of their study and some of their stuff, Zio is kind of
shifting over to their marvelous pigments as they make these. They make 2 bookmarks. One is very specifically has. There's designs in both of them. One has a design of a wolf howling up to the moon with the visual of a hummingbird. And then the second one actually has a phoenix in flight.
These are beautiful.
Thank you.
I didn't ask. Who are they going to?
Well, I want to give them to, well, one's for Sandro, if he takes it, and the other one is for Wit, if he takes it.
There are a lot of ifs. I'm sorry.
Well, I haven't seen. I don't know when the next time I'll see Wit. I think it would be good to see him, talk to him.
Well, I'm. Echinacea turns red and like moves kind of inward. You see them kind of fiddling with this figurine made of marble in their hand, sort of obfuscated by them fiddling with it. I will eventually be heading to Illenbell to bring Reeves there and to speak with Lorien. So if you wanted to come with me.
Is that okay?
Of course, Zio. Like I said, I always have time for you. And I'm going anyway. I need to work on feeling. I need to work out what I feel. I will be going eventually.
As you are saying that, Echinacea, and like Zio, this is clear for you. Like as you're kind of like falling into yourself and like just like, oh god, this is a lot. You do just feel Kalen's hand on your back as he just starts like just physically soothing and just being very present.
When you say feel, is it because of Lorien?
And you see their posture shift. I am becoming more of who I was. And that does not diminish the parts of me that have developed since we met. But he is my husband. And I met him as a stranger. So I need to understand myself again.
So your concern is because you're back to being yourself? You're worried about how things have changed, but not being yourself, being yourself? How... I mean, you, Echinacea, the cleric, you were married to him and you loved him, and for a very, very long time, right?
For a longer time than I have regained in my memory. But the 50 years I did regain, yes.
And that's... shouldn't that be all that matters?
Lorien lived through those 50 years. I do not know if he would want me back. And that does matter.
I can't say I understand, but in a really weird way, I do.
How so?
Oh, I'm just going through a lot right now. Zio's just kind of like, just sort of like, doesn't really know how to talk about it. Kind of like that. I think they also feel like with Echinaceia's shift, it's physical, right? It's not physical as in like, parts of themselves visually change. However, it's the way that they hold themselves. And throughout this time that they've been together as a group and everything, I think it's become something that maybe we all sort of notice.
Yeah.
And Zio is fully aware of the time and age that the period that Echinacea has lived, even if some of that period was taken from them. And so there is this sort of this feeling of, well, I shouldn't understand because I'm 24 years old.
Mm.
And yet there's also that feeling of like, oh, I understand what it means. I feel a kinship and understanding, a sort of kindredness in hearing someone say that they don't feel themselves, and in not feeling themselves, they fear, or not, they fear that there's been a change to the relationship. So there's little things, it's not all the same. It's almost like the beating of a weave, where it's only in certain specific places.
Yeah.
So it's not the full tapestry, but these little things that Echinacea is saying, where Zio sort of understands and feels a kinship, but also doesn't know how to vocalize it.
Mm.
Yeah. I think Echinacea is watching you, and watching you with, I think, a more discerning eye than you've really seen them use before. You and Asandro must be having a difficult time.
A little bit. I'm still trying to figure it out.
You know, my darling husband often went into areas that were a danger to him, places where I knew there was a chance he could see his life end. And of the memories I've recovered, nothing made me angrier than the time he tried to leave me behind. Me and Thandero. because I loved him. Because we loved him and we did not want him to be there alone. I cannot speak to what Isandro is feeling, but I do feel that there must be pain there, and I am not trying to dissuade you from what you want to do. I am merely pointing out what I think may exist.
Thank you. They shouldn't be, I was asking about you and your relationship. But I appreciate it. I'm still learning. I'm still getting the hang of it. And
Me too.
it's in a kind of odd way, it's a little it's a little soothing knowing that not everyone figures it out. So I appreciate it.
I'm glad to give reassurance. Shall we enchant those?
Yes, please.
Do you have anything that reminds you of the people who will be receiving these? It won't be consumed by the spell.
Does Zio have anything? That's very important. Oh my goodness.
It doesn't have to belong to them. It can remind you of them.
Well, Zio is going to take out a tinderbox that they've had for some time, and put it on the table and just says, I feel like this is for wit.
I think that's appropriate.
Yeah. And for Isandro, Zio is going to oh man, I'm blanking.
That's okay.
For his, oh man, it does it have to be a physical thing?
I don't think so.
I think Zio suddenly sort of touches their midsection, which is clothed, of course, but there is the memory there of Isandro's hands and the time that he spent tattooing Zio.
And with one of Zio's hands to their tattoo through their clothes, and the other one, Echinacea spreads across both of the bookmarks. They sit with their eyes closed, meditative. Now imagine a state in which you wish to tell them what has gone unsaid.
And Zio finds themselves by a beach in a liminal space. oddly in the presence of a withered and bedraggled looking creature of earth, as that very creature speaks about a love that they used to have. And then it shifts, and Zio is visualizing and seeing Kalidus there beside him instead.
And Zio's magic wafts into the bookmarks. Echinacea, who has gone back to holding this figurine, now has a diamond in their hand. They glance over to Zio, visualizing and smile, seeing the spell take hold. And a spell of their own takes hold, as the figurine of themselves begins to glow with blue light. And the diamond floats for a second in their hand, and they stow them away into their bag of holding. Echinacea came to consciousness kneeling before Magus Arcanum agents in the smoldering Kaelkirk streets. No memories remained in their skull, except one, their hand ripping the heart out of the Arcanum agent Valor. Echinacea was taken into custody by none other than Valor's husband, the notorious Casimir. After a month in solitary confinement, Casimir's intrusion into Echinacea's mind revealed that the false memory of killing Valor was planted by the Winter Court Fey Queen Koliada. Casimir uncovered a true memory hidden beneath the false one the night Echinacea met their husband, Lorien Belnades Larethian. Despite discovering Echinacea's innocence, the Arcanum refused to release them, keeping them locked in Casimir's tower. Until the day the Oracle of Aldengate revealed that Lorien did battle against Koliada upon the site of a Shadowfell rift over half a century ago. There, Lorien was defeated by the looming shadow Eadwulf. Eadwulf, an undead corruptor Corboray controlled by the Winter Fey Queen, consumed Lorien and turned him into the Vilderaven, a monster sworn to hunt the line of Larethian to extinction. The Oracle mercifully freed Echinacea after the revelation. Upon leaving the warded halls of the Arcanum, Echinacea learned that they are a fate touched of Minri, goddess of magic. With Minri, Echinacea crafted items of power called preludes, which grow based upon the chosen paths of the wearers. With time, Echinacea grew to love the fated, adopting Lazuli as their sister, advocating on Lucian Whitmore's behalf for restorative justice, befriending fellow Arcanum victim Monroe, and falling head over heels with the runaway Zendrixian prince Kaelin Vryn. With luck, Echinacea learned that they are bound to a phoenix, allowing the wizard to cast primordial restoration magic. They use this to heal enemies and allies alike, eschewing death hags and the ruinous god Silence locked away in Aosha's core. With rage, Echinacea learned vital information. Koliada's mind is not her own. She is a victim, controlled by the cursed sword Rhyme, created by the deceptive god Kervaith. Braving the lands of eternal winter in northern Shenthir, Echinacea finally faced the Vilderraven. In the midst of their battle, Echinacea offered Eadwulf a new pact. Join Echinacea and bring Kervaith to justice for all the suffering the god has caused. Eadwulf accepted, leaving Lorien free to recuperate, offering Kaelin the Vilderraven's mythic blade, the Song of Arvindor, and taking up residence in Echinacea's mind. Together, the two have braved many perils, closing a Shadowfell rift with the aid of Lucian Whitmore, recovering 50 years of memory with the help of another Corbray, meeting their brother, Dorlin, dying by Lord Harvish's hand, being brought back to life by Lazuli. With their life reclaimed, Echinacea got to work, reforging the Song of Arvindor into Kaelin's Oathblade Truthseeker, facing their deepest fears of imprisonment and loss of self in the Sivaholm catacombs, reuniting with their forgotten love and unwitting betrayer Thandrin, who remains bound in a pact to serve Kervaith, transforming into a seraph, freeing a goddess bound by the gods Silence, Kervaith, and Ruin's Eye. Echinacea now seeks to reclaim the rest of their memories, to save Koliada from Rhyme's influence, to free Thandoril from his pact, to close the rifts that scar Tolesh, to dismantle the Magus Arcanum, to confront Kervaith, to break the silence.
Whistle, the Hobgoblin fighter, was born and raised among the Iron Legionnaires to be a soldier, a tool for conquest. A veteran of numerous campaigns against the Scorched Isles, Whistle earned the recognition of the draconic captain Isradon of the Alaric, a mighty Titan-class ship. Steadily climbing the ranks of the Alaric's crew and garnering a reputation for efficiency, Whistle was eventually charged to lead a covert mission. He was tasked with leading a team to steal a Divanthyr tome from the famous Larwith Academy in Drukamesh. His life changed when on a mission, he was compromised by the only thing his grooming amongst the Legionnaires could never prepare him for. He fell in love. Whistle's budding affections for Nikolai, a Divanthyr scholar at the Academy, blossomed into a romance that threatened his entire mission. Everything came to a head when Nikolai attempted to stop Whistle's team as they secured the Divanthyr tome. Nikolai was shot by Whistle's ally, Lord Tarvish, and as he died in Whistle's arms, something miraculous happened. Nikolai's soul was imbued into a Divanthyr dagger that the two men had bonded over during their brief time together. Since then, Whistle has abandoned his Iron Legionnaire objectives and his team from the Alaric mission, tricking Lord Tarvish into believing he had the Divanthyr tome. Whistle sent his crew back to the Alaric. Now isolated from his former crew, he has dedicated himself to discovering a means of restoring Nikolai. After encountering the Fated and witnessing their crusade against the great evils that threaten the world, Whistle has found allies to aid him on the path to redemption and acceptance. It was not long before Whistle learned that he is the subject of a Divanthyr prophecy, a leader destined to unite the Ally-born and save his love in the process. Unfortunately, the trick Whistle played on his Legionnaire crewmates only bought him so much time. After a failed attempt to retrieve the book by Viper's Hand mercenaries, Whistle's Alaric crewmates took matters into their own hands and attacked members of his new party. Whistle arrived in time to watch Lord Tarvish kill Echinacea. Falling back on his Legionnaire training, Whistle cleaved the gunman in twain without a word. Navigating the strife caused by using Nikolai to kill, Whistle set about seeking redemption. Having been crafted a prelude by Echinacea, seeking training from the Golden Dragon Helgon the Gildenfire and the Winter Court Knight Uldiel, Whistle found himself taking steps down the path of the Protector. In doing so, Whistle promised Zio that he will take the burden of killing upon himself should the need arise. Whistle's role as a protector found him ensnared in a deal with Isradon to claim a new lair on his captain's behalf. In an act of desperation, Whistle offered Isradon the abandoned keep Sivahome, the meeting place of the forces of the Eclipse of the Three, the vile gods Kervaith, Ruin's Eye, and the Silence known as Vaemir. In the Sivahome catacombs, Whistle the Protector came face to face with Whistle the Legionnaire. Suffering under the weight of his past, Whistle was forced to relive the choices that made him into a killer, until finally coming face to face with a cruel vision of his father. In that moment, the sight of Lazuli under attack broke Whistle free of the past. The Protector persevered, buoyed by the faith of his party and his love for Nikolai. Now, Whistle has abandoned his Iron Legionnaires and thus earned the ire of his former draconic master. Days after retreating from Sivahome, Whistle found himself confronted by the adult Red Dragon and the reconstituted Lord Tarvish. Battle quickly ensued, during which Whistle was felled by Lord Tarvish's hand. In death, Whistle found himself face to face with an endless field of weapons and a godly entity, an icon known as the Maiden of Blades. She affirmed that Whistle is a protector. When Lazuli came to bring Whistle back to life, he accepted, returning to lead his party through a harrowing escape from the dragon Isradon. Thus, Whistle's connection to the Iron Legionnaires was severed. For the first time in his life, Whistle is a free man.
They can see and hear you. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We have lost Angie, but we're up one fin, dude. Angie had to go take care of some things, so we're gonna finish out the session here. Thank you guys for bearing with us. Let's go ahead and head to our last individual scene for the night. Lazuli.
Yes.
This is not too long. Ishor spent a lot of time in the Whitmore Estate Library. It's kind of, it's a much more private place than the Lore Keep. He is an isolationist. he is agoraphobic. He's like, oh, this room is like 10 by 10, so I can sit here comfortably. But Ishor has sort of gotten up, and after a conversation with him, he sort of, I'm going to go get some food. Would you like anything? Do you need anything?
Quite all right, thank you.
Okay, well,
I'm going to just update my journal here, and thank you.
of course.
Maybe tea. Tea
Tea.
later on around tea time. I'll meet you there.
Understood. Well, I won't be far, so I'll see you later. Ishror takes his leave, and you're kind of sitting there with Fritz for a bit as about 2-3 minutes afterward, the door opens again. You mind if I take a seat?
Louise looks up.
See Elizabeth.
I don't mind.
You're sitting on kind of like this long couch. She sits on a proper chair, like directly next to the couch. Just kind of sits, pulls a book. How's it going?
Better than it has. Trying to find my next path. How about you?
Next path. What does that look like?
The thing with paths, they can take you many places. And so you sit at a crossroads. You look down one way and another. Talk to the travelers that are coming from and going to. But you always know that every trip is unique and up to you.
So optimistic.
I know.
It's almost like pouring glitter directly down my gullet.
What's glitter?
Glitter exists!
Okay.
Dog, calm the fuck on. We got people riding mechs. Glitter exists. Absolutely.
Okay.
This world does not have the poison that is plastic.
I was about to make a joke about microplastics.
Yeah, there are a lot of conspiracy theorists in Aosha that are super worried about 5G.
Oh no. I mean, that's basically like the Divan. I don't know.
Anyway, no, we can't go down that road. That's one that we avoid. How am I? I did hear your question. I'm not ignoring you. I was just curious about, well, what paths you had in mind. And it seems that it's nothing. You're still pondering. I am restless. Mm-hmm. You see those two outside? You see two ducal guards standing?
I do.
They do not leave me. I hate it. If I
You have
was...
2 hands.
If I was the person I was 2 weeks ago, I would have eaten their hearts.
Mm-hmm.
But now I barely have enough strength to carry 3 books.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you fight her so much? I'm curious.
I wanted my power to be my own. I am still the offspring of a wellspring. I still have all my potential. I just didn't want her to use it for her own means. Her goals didn't align with mine. She didn't tell me the truth whenever I first took the pact. And I value honesty.
Is that why you spent so long with Ishor? You value honesty.
When I was spending that time, I didn't realize he was lying to me. And we have spent many hours speaking of the consequences he will face because of those lies in this very room.
Yes.
You haven't faced consequences aside from just having your power taken, but
Do not speak of what I've
your life back.
experienced. You have no idea the punishments I've received.
Do you think they are truly equitable to the damage that you've caused? Have you thought about the anguish that every single person that you've put into the heart or tortured or manipulated has caused? Even the effects that are just merely from me? Sir, there is so much that you have enabled. I know you know that, but I don't know if you truly feel remorse.
I don't.
Why?
Because they're nothing. They are insignificant. In this world, there are people who change it, and those who exist within it until they croak. I was expediting their misery.
Which are you now?
I am now a woman trapped in my home, with my fool of a brother ruling in my stead. She wanted you to be her new body, you know.
And how did that make you feel?
Oh.
Lazuli takes out, clicks her pen.
I wanted to tear your throat out. Watch the wellspring drip from your jugular.
Could have eaten my heart.
No. You bested me. And you bested her. I now see what she saw in you. A worthy prize. For someone like her, of course, you are no prize to me. You are rubbish, but you are rubbish I will not underestimate.
I think that you speak about others the way you speak about yourself in your mind.
Think what you will. You're wrong.
This is a cast Stone of Truth.
What saving throw is that?
Let me check. Because I'm like, I'm done. You don't.
I'm done.
I'm tired.
I think it's a wisdom save. Or charisma.
Where's my Stone of Truth? There it is. Yeah, no, it's charisma 16.
Charisma. She's good at charisma.
Fuck.
With a natural 1 on the die.
Okay. See that again.
Say that again is crazy. Those are not the things I repeat to myself. I'm not telling you. I am a woman of decorum. You bested me. I wish to give you an offering. A piece of knowledge.
Very well.
That of a wellspring. Viola was obsessed with him. Even modeled her heart and process of vivification off of a wellspring, a piece of pure magic that refuels itself. Raw power. But a wellspring does not only create one thing when something is born of it. All meaning to say that well, you have more family than you thought.
Is that it?
I have his name and where he resides.
Might it benefit you for me to know this?
Because you will hate where he is.
Go on.
No, maybe I'll keep it to myself.
Please, Lizzie, tell me.
That is what I wanted to hear.
There you are. Right.
Much like you, he was born of the wellspring. But he did not appear on the Feywild. He appeared in the Feydark. Think of it as the Underdark of the Feywild. He resides in the Shadowfell, fighting at the side of Ruin's Eye.
Symmetrical. No.
What was that?
Did how symmetrical? And then, no.
The wellspring does work in mysterious ways.
I'm usually an advocate for balance, but this is a bit cheeky. Other wellspring. What is his name?
That I will keep to myself.
You said you had a gift. Now you're being...
I gave it to you. You know he exists. You didn't know that before. You are welcome. And now you know that he served the man who separated your family.
Would you know of... what the fuck is her name?
Anara?
Inara, yeah. Inara.
What do I know of her? Not much. Just a foul reputation, eager to corrupt. I believe she trained him.
Elizabeth. How would you hurt her?
How would I hurt Anara?
Yes.
I would not give her the corruption she so wants.
Check.
Well, then it seems you're already ahead.
If I were to suffer her countenance again, if you feel so inspired, there are people who deserve cruelty, in my mind. Or at least something that comes close to it.
I will not be your attack dog. Best of luck
I was
whenever she
trying to
chooses to.
entertain you.
No. She stands. Well, happy I could be of service. She bows. Walks out with the 2 Ducal Guard following behind.
Lazuli has been holding Fritz the whole time, just kind of petting him ambiently, and she looks down and says, "There are people who, after you're done talking to them, make you feel so awful.
I wish to bite her in the face.
If you ever feel the need, you have my permission."
Understood. Next time we see that dreadful wench, I will bite her cheek. I have met a
Truly
few in the
feel icky.
past. Yes, icky is the right word.
I try to inspire her, or be honest. I won't trust her. Feel a little guilty about casting Zone of Truth, but she truly doesn't deserve my trust.
No, she does not.
I don't like what I feel like I have to say to get through to her either.
She wants to goad you. She wants to push you into an altercation. She wants to make you just like her.
Lazuli brings her knees to her chest and just has Fritz near her as they talk, and is just kind of comforting. She put on a big show in front of Elizabeth, but now she can let her guard down and feel the icky feelings and seek comfort and safety with her friend.
Yeah, you sit with Fritz, and I think he just... I have known resourceful mages, and those able to dodge magic. Take her words with a grain of salt, Lazuli.
I will. Thank you, Fritz.
Of course.
Let's go get some tea.
I'm thirsty. I wish to have tea. All right, and we'll close that scene there. Nicely done. And we will end the night with everybody returning to, I imagine, the humble abode, settling in for the night. Casimir does indeed avoid taking a potion, as he just... This is just nighttime tea, I promise.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Want to hear a secret?
I do like secrets, my dear. He kind of leans in. Yes.
I cast contingency today in the library.
Look at you. What was it?
Take a wild guess.
Casimir leans back, looks at their spell book. It always has to be on theme. That is very smart.
In honor of the Phoenix.
I can't imagine the face of them if it comes to pass.
Time will tell.
Kenna leans in and grabs their hands. I will be at your side through all of it.
I love you.
He sort of cups the back of their neck, kisses their forehead. I love you too. Squeezes and just... I need to take a lesson from Lucian.
He will be so pleased when I tell him you said that.
As he should be. He has... He's become a wonderful man. And I only wish to emulate that growth.
Can I tell him you said that too?
Yes.
Do you want to tell him you say that?
We can do it together. I do have one favor to ask.
Mm-hmm.
I've taught you a lot of magic.
Buckets.
I would like to learn from you. The art of protection, abjuration. I wish to begin a transformation of my own.
What will you become?
I hope a man worthy of the love you have for me.
I think you're already worthy of that, but I will acquiesce. It is a day for rebirths.
Together.
Echinacea cracks open their spell book. Abjuration.
Start to study and head to bed. As we close out for the evening, everybody gets cuddled up. We pan over to the Whitmore estate. Lucian, after a long day, walks into his office and just takes a deep breath. He goes over to his desk and he looks at a picture that he's commissioned. That of the Fated, sitting in the mountains of the Wavern Peaks, in a snowy camp, all together, dancing. And he looks at it. He smiles. He holds the ring, traces it with his thumb. He exhales again, takes his jacket off, puts on his long cloak, looks over. The fuck is that? And I'm gonna roll an investigation check for Lucian.
My DC is crazy. One sec. Anguished. It's not too crazy, but it's high. It's a DC 24 intelligence check.
I don't know why I didn't have Lucian's sheet up. Give me 1 second. Probably because I'm not focusing too hard on NPCs here. Mr. Lucian Whitmore. Said 24?
Mm-hmm.
24 investigation.
No intelligence.
Oh. Okay. So that is... Oh yeah, okay. Well, it's a 14 plus 9. Or plus 5. Plus 5, plus 5, plus 5.
Oh.
I don't know why I said
where
9.
do I get one?
Well, hey! 14 plus 5 for 19. That's why I said 9.
Do it today.
He's just... There's something off about that. And he heads over to his bookshelf. Just a large sigh and a smile and a glint in his eye as he sees a box of chocolate and an IOU. Oh, I'm coming to get you. And that is where we will call tonight's chapter of Known Realms Tolesh. But what you all don't see, a stone floor, wall sconces emitting a bright white flame, panting as hands hit a puddle to crawl forward. Heavy breaths as this entity crawls, one arm reaching forward, 2, 3 arms, 4, as flecks of electricity spark from their physical being. And you just hear, "No, you can't. I am divine. You cannot." In an obfuscated voice, "You think yourself divine? I think you are a redundancy. There are so many gods of the storm. This world will be fine without you. But do not fret. I will use it well." As a blade is plunged through the back of this entity, and out of it, a sliver of divinity. Crackling of electricity, the sound of a thunderclap as a shadowed hand grasps it, and takes it in. Fate has more in store for the darkness of this world. And that is where we're going to call tonight's chapter properly. All right. Pretty quick outros here tonight, guys. So
It was so nice until it wasn't.
listen, we got to get the setup for the future arc stuff. We got to get the setup. Hi, everybody. Thank you guys for chilling out. Before we head out, let's go ahead and outro our players, starting with Lou.
I am new and I'm scared. I play Lazuli. Lazuli's scared too. She, her pronouns for both of us. You can find me at Lazulia_art on social media.
Hell yeah, brother. Thank you so much for being here. And next up, last but certainly not least, Button.
Hello, I'm David. Wait. Hello, I'm Angie. Wait.
No.
Hello, I am Button. My pronouns are they, them. I am Bluebluebutton on social media. You can find me when I'm not here over on Stealthy Elf Productions in the Unearthed Inheritance campaign.
Hell yeah, brother. Hi, everybody. My name is Alec. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me all places on the internet at Tales Archived. I'm the Archivist here for Known Realms Tolesh. And when I'm not here, you can find me over at Stealthy Elf Productions, playing Finn Reese in Heroes of Asteria, Unearthed Inheritance. It's a lot of fun. Thank you guys for being here. We're excited to have our full crew back next week. Thank you for watching, and we'll see what more downtime has in store next time around. Bye, everybody!
Goodbye!